Hello, my friend. Let this be your reminder that you are enough. Just for those of you who are joining us here today on the Business of Happiness podcast, I just wanted to give you a trigger warning that this episode is about end of life and suicide. And so if there are little ears in the car listening, you may choose to listen to this at another time. Sending you so much love. Hello and welcome to the Business of Happiness podcast. I'm Dr. Tarryn MacCarthy. I'm your host. And, today is going to be a great day. I'm sitting here on a Monday recording this episode for you, my whole heart here with you. And today is the day before the 8th anniversary of my brother's passing. For those of you who don't know, my little brother, took his life in 2016. And I still can't believe that he's gone. Every single day when I text my other brother and call my mom or call my dad, I still get the urge to send him a message. Still have to remind myself that he's not there. And I thought on this anniversary of Douglas's passing that I would use this as an opportunity to remind you of how very precious and needed and loved you are. So often we get to challenges in our lives where our obstacles feel so enormous, where the pain and loss and difficulty feels insurmountable. And we can understand it from a biological perspective. We can tease it apart from a scientific perspective and understand the psychology and the nervous system and the outdated limiting beliefs that fed into that feeling, but it doesn't make those moments any less real. It doesn't make those deep, dark moments any less painful. And no matter where you are in your life and what challenges or obstacles you may be experiencing, let this be a reminder that you are so worthy and that you are enough. I've been there too. I've been in that place where I felt like everything I was doing was inadequate, that who I wasn't only less than everybody else, but there have been times where I've even felt like what I was doing, who I was being, was actually hurting the people around me. And let me just let you know again, that is never, ever the truth. The truth is that we need you. The truth is that the people in your world need you. The truth is that the ripple effect of the incredible people that you are serving on a daily basis is true, is real. You impact people's lives, just like my brother did. So no, my brother wasn't in medicine or dentistry. He was actually in another service industry. He was a bartender and probably held space, not probably, definitely, because I heard from so many people subsequent to his passing. He held space for so many people. Douglas was in the business of happiness for sure. And Douglas's passing is actually what sparked this trajectory in my life of searching for meaning, searching for happiness, searching for resolve, resilience, empowerment. And what I've learned along this journey is that each of us has that power within us. Each of us has the power to create our own reality. But first, it takes acknowledging that you are worthy of it. And so in this very simple, straightforward episode, I want to remind you of how worthy you really are. You know, one of the things that brings on stress, we're going back to science, guys. I can't help it in any of these episodes, but something that actually stimulates our sympathetic nervous system, ironically, is looking at really small, tiny things up close. Hello, dentistry. Hello, looking at cell phones. But literally, our myopic vision stimulates sympathetic nervous system storm, stimulates stress. So anytime you're looking at something really small up close for long periods of time, your body is slipping into sympathetic nervous system storm and stress. So today I want to remind you to pull back, to zoom out. You know, it's interesting that when we're in a place of overwhelm and stress and anxiety, things seem huge. So imagine taking yourself and bringing yourself to a tiny, 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 tiny place, shrinking your body down to a tiny, tiny person. Now recognize how the perspective of things feels enormous. Suddenly our problems feel so large. So when we shrink our perspective to something really narrow and focused, we actually shrink our being. We actually, in our mind's eye, in our psychology, we shrink our being and everything around us seems so much bigger. Problems seem bigger. Goals seem unattainable because the trajectory of how to get there, the gap between where I am now and where I want to be seems so enormous. I'd like you now to imagine zooming out, pulling your awareness far, far, far back. Imagine even pulling your awareness outside of your body, outside of your house, outside of your state, outside of the atmosphere, up into the universe, literally flying up in the cosmos, looking down on this tiny, tiny planet. How tiny our problems become. Imagine now that you're in that very, very far off perspective. Now expand your imagination to a perspective beyond space, now beyond time. And see how this one day, this challenge in this day that feels so big is just a moment in time. Look back on your trajectory, on your lifeline. Look back on the pattern of your life and see everything had its course and everything came to an end. Nothing lasts forever. And so this moment that feels so big and feels like it hurts for so long, it won't. See that on your timeline from way up high and see that these struggles, this pain is temporary. You are so much more than this moment in time. Pull back and broaden your perspective. You are so much more than this challenge. Look at all the incredible challenges that you have overcome to be here today. Pull back and see the history of your life, of your capability, of your expertise, of your tenacity. You are so much more than this challenge. Pull back again and recognize, see yourself in this beautiful, beautiful world with all the incredible people all around you. And now see yourself as your spiritual self, as your soul self, who is so much more than the body you are in. Your body changes throughout your lifetime. Your body is not the same from one day to another. You are so much more than your body. You are so much more than the weight, than your shape. than your capability. Witness. Pull back and broaden your perspective and see the truth. Pull out of that myopic, stress-induced perspective and pull back to see the greater truth. You are so much more than your body. You're so much more than your health. You are so much more than this moment in time that you, as a spiritual being, are within this body. You are so much more than your bank account. You are so much more than your debt. I mean, isn't it almost comical to say that? But you are so much more. And from this enormous perspective, see the wealth around you. You're more than that. You're more than other people's perception of your wealth or your debt. Pull back and see with a broader perspective. Now see that you are so much more than your title. You are so much more than your occupation, than the position you hold, than the title in your name or on your diploma. You are so much more than a job description. Even this can change and be fluid throughout your lifetime. And no matter what happens, doesn't matter how many iterations, how many career paths you take on, you are so much more. You are so much more than your age. Sometimes we tell ourselves, I'm not old enough. They perceive me as too young. And then the next thing we turn around and say, I'm too old. And these are just limiting beliefs. You are so much more than your age. You always have been. You are so much more than your accomplishments. We tend to use accomplishments as a measuring stick for our success, our capability, our worth. And there's nothing further from the truth. What you have and what you've done has zero indication of what you are and your enoughness. You are so much more than your thoughts. From this broader perspective, recognize that your thoughts are not you. All those thoughts that in your head right now seem big and real and scary and true, recognize you are more. You are so much more than thoughts that are fleeting, that are fed by society and your upbringing and conversations and social media. You are so much more than your thoughts, and you get to choose those thoughts. Choose wisely. Choose with love, because you are so much more. You are so much more than your situation. You are so much more than the events happening outside of you, than what feels like reality in front of you. You are so much more. From this pulled back, broadened perspective, zoom out and witness yourself. You are miraculous. You are so much more capable than you give yourself credit for. And you are so worthy. Worthy of enormous love. Worthy of your love. You are so much more than enough. You were born worthy. You were born enough. And you are so much more than the lies you were told. You are so much more than the fears that you hold. You are miraculous. You are loved. And you deserve your own love. Because from that space, recognizing that you need love, you need your own love, that you deserve your own love, that all of this is temporary. Allow yourself to witness that you get to give that to yourself, to fuel yourself so that you can feel good. Because you are enough. and you are deserving of it. Sending you all my love. Thank you for listening to the Business of Happiness podcast. If this episode brought you new perspective and value, I invite you to subscribe so that you catch all upcoming episodes and leave us a review. And if you know of a friend or colleague who could benefit from this perspective, share this episode with them and empower their day. For more information about the Business of Happiness and the Radical Happiness for Practitioners course, find me on www.thebizofhappiness.com. See you there.